Welcome back to Out of the Rough. I'm Fred Arnold, and I'm joined by my good friends Bob and Kay Slocum. Bob and Kay Slocum are the parents of Lance Corporal Ricky Slocum, and Lance Corporal Ricky Slocum was killed in action on October 24, 2004 on Operation Iraqi Freedom. And we got to know each other through a lot of the work we've done around town for veterans and for fallen soldiers. And I want to talk a little bit today about Ricky and the Memorial Fund we put together. And but as we start, Kate, tell us about Ricky as a young boy.
As a young boy, Ricky was the youngest of three, so he was the baby, a little bit spoiled and taken care of. Mm-hmm. He was very loud, very gregarious, extremely bright, very charming, very stubborn. When he was 3, we were already saying we thought he should be a lawyer because he liked to argue so much.
Well, what kid doesn't, right?
Yeah.
When you have 2 or 3 kids, you have 1 or 2 of those, right?
Yes. He took it to perfection level.
Yeah.
Just a fun-loving, charming kid that everybody loved.
Energetic?
Very energetic.
Right. And,
yes.
and I, when I sat down initially with you, Bob, you were telling me how, he had a lot of energy in those high school years, but he wanted to enlist, and that inspired him to finish school.
Yeah, Fred, it's 9/11 is really what inspired Ricky, made him think about and then join the Marines. He joined the Marines before he graduated high school, but he knew that he couldn't become a Marine unless he graduated mainstream high school. So Ricky is, he can work the system. So he ended up taking, if he were to not be at school one more day, he wouldn't have graduated high school. He knew exactly how many days he could not go to school. So he went into the Marine Corps, he graduated mainstream high school, and the rest of the story is boot camp after that,
yeah.
right after high school.
Yeah, but the lesson there is he had a goal. He wanted to go enlist in the Marines and serve his country, and because of that goal, he finished high school.
Yes.
Right. what a very worthy thing. And what were your initial thoughts when you go, oh no, he's enlisting? And of course, you were probably worried because the war had started.
We were concerned, but it was his choice. We could give our opinion, but really we agreed with him. This is something that he wanted to do. Mm-hmm. He was on a mission to be a Marine. And Ricky was a leader, and he would make a great Marine. He just needed to, give into authority, because Ricky had a hard time with authority.
Well, what better place to go than the Marines
right.
to learn about authority and learn about discipline? And you saw a changed young man, didn't you?
I did. 3 months of boot camp. He went in as a child and he came out as a man, but it took something. While he was in boot camp, he thought he was a leader. He was a little bit disappointed that somebody else got appointed to be the leader of the squad, so he gave that guy a bad time. Well, his DI then said, well, okay, come to my office with me, and the DI just took Ricky by the collar, threw him over his desk, he slammed him to a wall and said, you have a problem with authority? Okay, well, you can deal with me now. And I think that's really what the turning point was. Mm-hmm. He had to respect authority. And yes, he was a completely different person. When we saw him graduate boot camp, he was walking toward us, and the posture was straight. The walk was confident. We were saying, who is this kid? And it was Ricky. And
you must have been so proud, Kay, seeing him turn into a young man from a boy that got grounded a few times, right? What was that feeling like when you saw him growing up to be a young man?
We were so proud we can't even express it. Yeah. Just to see him find his niche and know that I think he had spent so much time grounded and had not always made the best choices. Just seeing him be so proud of himself, and we had a huge amount of family there to support him and see him graduate. And there was never a better feeling in my life than when I saw how proud of himself he was. That's what you want for your child, to be successful and to feel like they are going to make a difference.
And make a difference in this world. And I think that's very important, from going to maybe getting in a little bit of trouble, but being an energetic, good person, to being a young man. Now, it's been 8 years since the loss of Ricky. How have you coped with it? What are some of the things you've gotten involved with to cope with the loss of your youngest son?
Well, it took us a while. of course, you're in shock, and but eventually you come around to the point like, well, we want to make sure that Ricky is remembered. Not only Ricky, but all the young men and women that gave their lives, the ultimate sacrifice to their country. One thing we have done with the help of North Park Community Church and our pastor Dave White, who had the idea, is on our 11-acre campus we have built phase 1 of the Honor Court. And the Honor Court pays tribute to the 11 fallen soldiers, Marines that have died out here locally in Santa Clarita, as well as our first responders. We want to make sure that they get the recognition that they need too. First responders that are local here to Santa Clarita that have died in the line of duty.
Yeah, there's Dave March, there's Jake
Cridgen, there's
there was one
Glenn
other.
Allen.
Yeah.
Glenn Allen.
And so you're looking to honor all the first responders, including our war heroes.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you would like, you could purchase a paver, and there's over 700 pavers in the Honor Court. So if you want to recognize somebody either deceased or still alive, somebody in the military in your family, you can purchase a paver and have it engraved with what you want to put on it.
Where is that located specifically? Because I think it would be a great lesson to take your children to see the Honor Court.
Sure. It's at North Park Community Church. It's on Kelly Johnson Parkway. It's as you pass Walmart. That's on the left-hand side.
Up off the 126.
Yes.
And the
Right.
5, kind of that area. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. Let's talk about Ricky Slocum Memorial Fund, because that's what I'm inspired. We have a poker tournament that we're going to have on the fall, and of course the golf tournament you've done. The inspiration behind helping that fund grow so you can help other veterans. Kay, tell us about his fund and what your goal is for the fund.
The idea of the Ricky Slocum Memorial Fund really morphed out of the Honor Court and fundraising we had done for that. And it occurred to us that what we were doing was great, but we felt that really what Ricky would have liked was for us to help the living and to help his fellow veterans and military as they come back. I don't know that everyone is aware of how many needs they have, financially, emotionally, the support that they need. So our hope is to raise as much money as we possibly can starting this year and in the years to come to really be able to fill in where there might be some gaps in services or some real needs that they have that are not being met elsewhere.
Mm-hmm. And that's what this community is about. Bob, how can those that want to contribute, how can they reach out? Email address or website?
There's a website. It's called RickySlocumMemorialFund.org. They can go to that site and you can click on the donate button if you'd like to donate. Yeah. It's that easy.
Well, thanks for coming in. I've been so inspired since meeting you, Kay, to get involved more and more in the Santa Clarita Valley, and mostly because of my now awareness that young men have given their lives, and of course a lot of women are on the front line, potentially in harm's way. And thank you very much for the inspiration you've given me and so many in the Valley to make a difference.
Well, thank you for all that you do too, Fred, especially since we've lost the last 3 in this community, to organize the community, to make sure that people get out there and support the family, and that children can see along the path of a funeral or on the way to the cemetery that, somebody in that hearse lost their life for our country.
Yeah.
And thank you for organizing the community.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for coming in. We're going to jump to a quick break and we'll be right back.